Hello there, pproteus here, back for another arena draft. It is week 1 of Wilds of Eldraine, and we are gonna have some fun checking out the format. So I've been playing a few drafts, and let's just, while we're waiting, give the rundown on what I think about this format. The first thing is that I definitely have a color preference. Blue is just not a strong main deck color. White is okay, but maybe it's a little bit more restrictive than the junk colors. The junk colors are really where I want to be. Second, despite what I just said about color imbalance, I think all color pairs they have their own gimmick, and all those gimmicks really hit, but they're more kind of packages than proper decks. And these packages, the packages that hit the most are the really easy ones. The food, the enchantments, all those 1/1s tokens, and adventures. And speaking of adventures, adventures lead to these decks where you're going to be splashing a lot because you have this kind of low investment way of, I've got a red card, but it's got a blue spell attached, and then you can play a couple of blue sources and not really care if you don't draw them because you could just cast your red spell. And those also lead to excellent kind of smooth, fun curve considerations where you can play against an aggro deck and play out your adventure creatures really fast for tempo, or kind of hold them up for value in longer matchups. Either way it works. We are looking at a pack 1 here, and I'm seeing a white card. This is it's a pretty good rare, so we're going to take this, and doesn't too much matter what else is in the pack, although I think, some of these black cards are pretty good. The Witch, Vermin, Daredevil, I think are the next 3 for me. Didn't really want to take a white card first pick, but it's a 4-mana 4/4 flying, and it gives me a direction. It says just play more enchantments, so we can do that. Of course, we don't necessarily want to play it. This is just pick 1. We can always run away from it, but we'll be fine either way. This pack, we got one of these rares from the bonus sheet. Not doing that one. That's not good. There are really 2 cards I'm looking at here, and they are both green. There is this common mana elf that has 3 toughness, also fixes your colors. This is just one of the best 2 mana elves I've ever seen. And then there's this Galefang, which is 4-mana 4/4 vigilance that also sometimes has haste. That is just such an efficient card. I really like that. I think it's pretty close between these 2. I'm going to lean towards the Fawn because it's a 2-drop, and therefore it's a lot less replaceable. Other good cards in here. This is probably one of the better white commons. And not really excited by the other things, like a Ginger Boot you'll play sometimes, Red Cap Thief, Bowls of Porridge. And this pack, I think I know very much what I want immediately. I would like Red Tooth Genealogist. It is kind of just a 3-mana 3/4, except the +1/+1 counter. The enchantment has to go somewhere else. Also, just Mason enchantment, we just talked about, curves really nicely into the Archon because we put this roll on our 2-drop, play this as a 3-drop, play this as a 4-drop, and then the 2-drop is attacking for 5 in the air. That's a powerful curve. So this is exactly the kind of card you want to play playing with this Archon. Alright, over here we got, well, this is kind of interesting. So we got a Utopia Sprawl. That's a really cool card. It's an enchantment. It helps you splash, and it's also just random if you play it on turn 1 or 2. So it's really powerful for sure. There's some other good things here, which is Vanity is kind of like a removal spell with a bonus. Last Casket, really good cheap removal spell, probably just worth the Vanity. And there's Sir Ginger, which I lost to a bunch recently because I had a Planeswalker in my deck and I drew it, and my opponent had Sir Ginger, and that happened to me twice in one league. This card's not busted by any account, but it also gives you direction. It says just play with artifacts, and you don't really need the bonus to happen. It's kind of just a Blade of 6 Pride by itself, and that's kind of just acceptable. I think we're probably going to be playing green-white. I usually don't like to commit super early, but I also am not seeing any need to go and taking the other colors. I'm going to take this Pie Wielder here. I feel kind of bad about passing Utopia Sprawl, and maybe I should have thought about that more. Utopia Sprawl is really powerful, but maybe I'm just salty about having lost to this guy. It's not that bad. It's rare. I haven't played with it yet. I really want to find out. I've already played with Utopia Sprawl several times, and in other formats. Here we get to pick up this cool card, Welcome to Sweet Tooth. get to kind of make a 1/1, then make a token, then get a bunch of +1/+1 counters, which is probably 2. So it's kind of like a 2-mana 3/3, except that 3/3 is on suspend. You also get those tokens if you care about those, which I will honestly try pretty hard to care about the tokens. So Ginger, here's a way to take advantage of having foods around. We're passing... Oh, wait, there's another Root Rider Fawn. Well, I'd be really happy about that, but I think this one card is actually better. Armory Mice, very playable. Monstrous Rage, I really like that card. I don't know about Tutelage. That's a bit tough to make work properly. Here, I'm tempted to take Evolving Wilds, but there's just another Pie Wielder. I think this card plays really well. So it's hard to, first of all, 3-mana 2/3, kind of hard to block at the best of times, as you're attacking really early, and they can't really interact with it very well because they have a bunch of like 2/2s. That's the play on turn 2. And then if you have Celebration, then you're attacking for 4, which is a lot for a 3-drop to attack for. And you can sometimes like give it Celebration in the middle of combat if you have instants that make tokens. And there's just a lot of things to do. Here we got 8th pick Root Rider Fawn. This card should not go 8th pick. This card is very powerful. I think green's open, so I'm very happy about my choice to be in green. This pack, I don't even know what to make of it. I can take this colorless card. I'm going to take Charmed Clothier because it makes a roll, and I really want little enchantments. Howling Galefang. I almost took that over the Fawn. Came back. Howling Galefang says you want to have adventures that cost, cheap. 1, 2, or 3. Not a big ask because those cards are all really good, but also we're taking it. Just 4 mana, 4/4 vigilance. Very happy. Here we could take, say, Crystal Grotto. This kind of card is, Unknown Shores is not great, but Scrying 1 is pretty good. There is this Tune Veil Guide, which I haven't been very excited about, but maybe I'll take it here. I see it not working very often, which makes me not want to play it. If it always works, it's, Phantom Monster with lifelink, that's incredible. But I keep seeing it just never working at all. Okay, what do we got here? This also seems like a very strong pack. So there is a Mythic in the pack, and this Mythic is not good. This is like a Panharmonicon. Doesn't really work in limited. My eye next is drawn to Grasp at Fate, which is like a hard to cast Vanishing Light. I also see this House Mouse here because I talked about wanting adventures. Really hard to go wrong with Elite Vanguard with upside. But my eyes are then moving down a little more up the Beanstalk, really powerful card because it's a 2-mana cantrip that just draws you cards later in the game. Just so little risk. But the card I'm going to take here is Agatha's Champion. It's got Bargain, and we have a whole bunch of little tokens to sacrifice to it. And it's very easily a 2-for-1. Your opponent just has like a 3-4, and being able to trade your food token for the 3-4 while also reasonably developing, that's super powerful. Next pack here, I'm less excited about this one. I see Return from the Wilds, which is, it's playable, but the problem is it costs 3. 3-mana ramp spell is a little bit worse than a 2-mana ramp spell. You could also make 2 tokens, but 3 mana for a 1/1 and a food is below rate. The other card is Knight of Doves, which cares about when your enchantments put into the graveyard. And while I did say I was going to try to get a bunch of enchantments, we don't have that many going around, so I don't think I want to invest in that. I'm going to take the Return from the Wilds. We don't have to play it. Graceful Takedown is a very good card. We're needing removal. We have 0 removal spells thus far, so I'm going to take that and hope to get some more removal. Maybe I should have taken that Grasp of Fate, but this card is probably better. In this pack here, we've got Edgewalling, which I think is one of my favorite uncommons. It's fixing, first of all, so if we get one of those off-color adventures, we can use this to splash that pretty easily. But it's also just a tap land that's fixing. It's Evolving Wilds that, in the late game, get you a card back, get you a real card. Do we have a lot of adventures? No, we really don't have a lot of adventures. But we'll get some. We'll get some adventures. It's not a big deal. So I'm happy to take that speculatively. Next pack, I'm going to take another Genealogist. Garrick's Uprising is a fun card to think about, but think about what it takes to have creatures with power 4 or greater. We got 1, 2, 3, and that's it. So it's actually kind of hard to trigger. Lots of things with like 3 power in the set. Hard to get things that have 4 power. In this pack, we got Hamlet Glutton. This is one of my favorite cards. If you got Bargain, it's 5 mana 6/6. All you need to do is have a bunch of foods laying around that you can sacrifice, and that really isn't that hard to do. So we're going to take it, and again, just looking for the artifacts and enchantments. In this pack, you can choose between kind of like a bear, play at 6 pride. There's a Savior of the Sleeping, which is another cares about your enchantments dying. But if you don't have any enchantments die, it's just not that great. I'm going to take Prophetic Prism. Not sure if I want it yet, but it's a good speculative pick, and if we end up with enough bargain cards, we will definitely play it. And if we end up with cards that splash, we will also definitely play it. It's just good to have around. This pack, I think, is that we're going to take this Worm here. I'm looking at this gold card, but I'm not convinced I want to splash, so I'm gonna avoid it. Up the Beanstalk Wield, which I mentioned to you the first time, but I have to cast things that cost 5 to trigger it to get a second card off it. I think I'd rather just take Werefox. This is another enchantment for the rolls that we care about, and it's a good comment trick. It's also just a good 4. It's 4 mana 3/4 champ. 4/3 trample, excuse me. I'm gonna take this this Knight of Doves. Might play it, might not. I'm not sure. It's kind of borderline. Probably depends on whether or not I play Return from the Wilds, because they're kind of leaning in different directions. This card is saying you got to play the enchantments, and this card is saying here's an artifact. I will take. Yeah, this doesn't matter. We're not playing these. Ruby, that is really light. You can't really splash this card, but man, people should be in green-red. They should take that. Pack 3, pick 1. I see another card I really like, which is Royal Treatment. This card is really sweet. It's like Blossoming Defense, which is a card I've always loved, except it gives you a counter that sticks around on your creature. So if you ever get to counter spell with this, you're feeling really far ahead. You got to counter spell for 1 mana and get this permanent upside. This card also pretty good. You make a roll attached to it, and then you sacrifice the roll later. But that's jumping through hoops. You don't need to jump through hoops to play Royal Treatment. So we're gonna take that and worry about bargaining later. In this pack, we got Elvish Archivist, which is just a bomb rare. When you get artifact, you get 2 counters on the Archivist. And when you get an enchantment, you draw a card, and we got lots of artifacts, lots of enchantments. This is going to be incredible. In this pack, I'm not sure what to do. I see a Mythic, which is 3 mana 4/4. It's pretty good, but that would be a double splash for me. I'm not doing that. I see some good black cards. The Vanity, Defeat the Cauldron. I see Ruby again, which is great, but we're not doing that either. I see a Return from the Wilds, but I don't think I want to play multiple copies of that. So yeah, we're just not getting much out of it. This is a cool pack here. We've got Irencrag as our rare, which is playable, but that's a lot of complexity here that you really just don't need. That's a lot of text. I don't want to read all that. It's not that good. You have to pay a bunch of mana to equip. It's a mana rock. It's worse than other cards that we already have. So here you gotta either take the Glutton or the Gold card in our colors, or maybe Glass Casket. I'm just taking the Glutton. I'm gonna try to lean into these counters that we already have. In this pack, we're going to take a Stockpiling Celebrant. That's a card we don't have one of yet, but this will let you take advantage of kind of enter the battlefield things, and we do have quite a lot of those. A whole lot of enter the battlefield triggers, so I'm just gonna take this guy. That's not like a Hardened Scales, which really isn't that good, and a Beanstalk Worm, which is pretty good, but nothing too fancy. In this pack, we got a late Curse the Werefox. This is just Hunt the Weak, except it costs 3 mana, and also it gives you a token, which we can then sack to our Hamlet weapons. Great card. Give me that. Very happy to have the removal. I was worried for a minute. Here we have Wield a Sir Arm across the whole table, so we're taking that. That's a lot of 5s. Maybe cut this Beanstalk Worm. In this pack, we've got a Knightly Valor, which if we had fewer 5s, we would definitely go for, because we have all these aura things. Instead, we're just going to take a Brave the Wilds, which is Basically a tap land that, much like Edgewall End, can be converted into a real card in the late game. Curse the Werefox, that somehow wheeled from that second pack, where I didn't even talk about it because we took, I can't remember which card I took in this pack. Was that the Elvish Archivist pack? We took something good over it. And this Return to the Wilds was wheeled, and I said I wasn't going to play it, but now I might actually play it because I've picked up a whole bunch of good 5s since I got this. Like, this is really good with Hamlet Glutton, right? You play this in turn 3, you get your 4th land, the 5th one in your hand, and you get a food. Next turn, you sack the food to the Hamlet Glutton, and you got to play your 6/6 on turn 4, and also you get this land that sticks around. So you didn't like lose the Return of the Wilds, it sticks around as a card. So here we are with the deck list. I've got 1 Brave the Wilds in the land slot because we have lots of mana, and so this will probably just be a late game 3/3. The one iffy thing I decided to play was a Stockpiling Settlement. I did end up playing both Return of the Wilds. That gives us a lot of 3s, so think of this as like a late game card to bounce something maybe that has some kind of end of the battlefield effect, which we have a few different options. Decided to cut Prophetic Prism, Worm, Knight of Doves, Clothier, all of which are very reasonable things to play, and, you know, I probably could just be playing the wrong one, but, you know, we'll probably be fine. Prophetic Prism in particular is the one I'm least certain about cutting, but we both are not short of things to do on turn 2, and we don't really need this for the bargaining, though it does have some good synergies with other cards in our deck, so maybe we should be playing it regardless. Match 1. I see our 2 rares in the hand, so we're keeping it. Seems great. We've already got double green from the Fawn, so this in is going to be white mana. Try to cast this Archon as early as possible. Start hitting. That's its main purpose, really. It's just a 4/9 4/4 flyer. But, you know, that's a dragon. It's good enough for me. Opponent played one of those cursed courtier things that I saw in the draft, talked about. We'll see. We'll assume that's going to be a 3/3 and we'll have to deal with it. But anyway, here's my turn 3 dragon. And we'll follow that up with some of these things for certain. Now, I do want to play the Archivist. That's a little bit of a problem, because the Archivist draws a card every time I play an aura. This is an aura and this is an aura. So then I want to be playing this Archivist and Curse, I guess, this turn. Well, I have to discard a card? What does this do? This, okay. That's really large. Okay, that's unfortunate. I'm going to have to figure out a way to remove that. Okay, so the reason I'm stopping to think here is because if I'm going to remove that, then this is the only thing that really blocks it? I think I have to discard the Armont, even though the Armont cantrips and is enormous, because I really want to play the Glutton, but I can't play it this turn. I'll have to play it next turn, but that's hopefully okay. So here's the Archivist. We're gonna play the Curse, so this Archon is gonna apply immediately. So I can go Curse. It's 5/5. Maybe this Archivist actually is the thing that would be big enough to block the 6/6. I don't want to try double blocking. Too many block removal spells that would make that not work. Tap target creature. That's really bad. Okay, so I guess what I gotta do is make this Archivist large so I can block, or at least threaten to block. So we get to go food and I guess a 1/1, because we don't actually need the mana. And then the food gives me counters on the elf. And we'll save this for next turn, because if we play it here, we don't get a trigger. Okay, so opponent has played a 4/4 flyer rather than use their guard, which in some ways is good, in some ways is definitely not good. Do I want to sack this food or do I want to save it? I'm probably sacking it here. Don't want to go too low. And then here I can go Surge Injured, get some counters with Gale Fang. The problem is if we do that, I'm gonna have to basically trade off this Archon for their Griffin. Also, they can get it back if they activate this ability, sack the tail, and that roll there. I guess that's not that bad, but I do have to worry about dying there. Oh, well, that's not good. So they've used Conceited Witch to give this to make it into a 7/7, and that is asking me basically I should chump or potentially die next turn. I don't think I want to chump, so going to 1. And now I'm going to just die to a breeze, but don't think I can really do much better. That is a really interesting draw, because I can make something into a flyer at instant speed. But the problem is, can I make something big enough that it can actually block a 7/7? I guess I could make two different things into flyers and double block, and then I'll lose my Archon. Okay, I'm not seeing a lot of options, so we're going to try that. So guard is tapping my big thing. Okay. Going to combat punch coming in with just a Griffin. So we're going to go guard change for something. I want it to be something with at least 4 toughness, so it's got to be the Scale Fang. Trigger the Archivist, draw a card. Go to blockers. And we're going to trade this very large Griffin for my Archon. And then sack Sir Ginger so I don't die to that roll. Which I forgot to mention, but I definitely was thinking that. Don't worry. So that guy's down, but we still do have this Archivist, which hopefully will do a lot of work. Start off with, I guess a 6/6. What to go wrong with the 6/6? I'm honestly interested to see if they do activate this Griffin's Graveyard abilities, because it won't be great, but I am out of flyers, and they do kind of not really have any ways to attack, so very, very possible. Welcome Sweet Tooth, great draw, specifically because I have this Archivist, because it's an enchantment and artifact, and I get to do all these things. Now, I do note, don't want to forget that they can like double activate this guard, but I think things are kind of under control. I don't really have any attacks. I can attack with my Glutton, but they're going to get to tap 2 things. So if they tap like this and this, no, I don't want to let them do that. I want to, because I don't want this Archivist getting traded off, especially right before it gets the food counters. On the other hand, I do actively want to trade off the Square Fox, because there's my one target for Edgewalling. I said that. I said it was going to be easy to get a pile of adventures, and then just didn't do that. Could have played Beanstalk Worm, but it didn't really seem that necessary. Opponent casts back for 2nd, so that's going to return 2 things. Return that Griffin to their hand. So that guy that's a clock, and returns this thing that might present some problems. Once again, don't think we really have any attacks. We're in our spot here. We're going to die to this Griffin. Alright, so the Griffin resolved. I'm going to put the counters on my Gale Fang, because I guess I want to just try attacking with it. See if I can trick them into trading, and I guess these trades aren't particularly good, but maybe I'll scare them into doing something poor. Uh-oh, getting some lag here. Dang, I thought they were going to fight me, but they really just didn't. They just block right away. I think we're in trouble. Opponent is wise. I don't hate getting rid of the ginormous menace creature though, so I'm not going to complain too much. Okay, so Griffin's coming in for lethal. I have to sack the food so we don't die. Go to 3 and then have the top deck in a rule spell, and we're just flooded. Alright, well that's that, I guess. Alright, and we have lost round 1 to the superior 4/4 wet flyer deck. Alright, match 2. Let's redeem ourselves here. We're gonna play Fawn on turn 2, and that sounds pretty decent. I was gonna switch Evolving Wilds for green, but now that we draw Forest, don't need to. We're gonna get white. Oh, it's this card again. Ooh, an attack. Okay. So they can, just attack for free. And that makes me kind of want to block. They also could have some tricks. I don't think I really like many of the tricks very much, so I think I'm just going to block. Because I don't really care too much if they kill this. Like, I probably just have to pass next turn. But they're kind of passing this turn, so I think those two cancel out. I think all that was just fine. We're going to go return here. I think we're going to go token. I don't think I need these lands right away. We're going to be able to go... What do we do first? Ooh, Lord Skitter Sewer King. Okay, so we're probably going to want to fight that because it's going to make a rat every turn. That's going to be annoying to say the least. But the problem is we don't have anything big enough to fight it, and now I'm drawing another 5 and immediately regret not touring the land. Guess I'm just a big dummy. We can get this genealogist, because the genealogist is going to put a counter over here, and now from this spot it shouldn't be too hard to take down the skitter if they tap out. And also if they like kill this, for example, somehow we could go where Fox put a counter on the genealogist, that's a 3/4, and then genealogist by itself can take down skitter. Opponent cast Cleave Shadows, scale all my things -1/-1. Not obvious why they did that, because it didn't really kill anything. I guess it lets them make an attack, so if they were going to play the front half of this anyways, wasn't necessarily a bad play. So for example, they could pump the rat and then attack you for 8, and I'm not touching it. Not touching it. Yep. Okay. Good play. Ooh. I like that. We're gonna go just take down right now, I think. Let's just shoot that Lord Skitter. I think I'll pass, maybe? Maybe it's this. No, I should probably make the roll now so I don't get blown out by like a candy grapple. I think do I want to aggressively trade off this human, or do I want to save it because of the Archon? Probably want to save it. Uh-oh, casket. Dang, am I going to take... Oh no, Skitter came back. That's not good. Uh-oh. Feel like I'm going to die again here. So I don't want to trade because I'm about to play Archon. Eat a rat, take 5, go to 5. I can play Archon, block 2 things, go to 1. It's not spectacular, but I'm not dead, and I could draw a land now to let me cast this Glutton. If I do that, then I'm in good shape. So just don't... Wait, but they can go Frostbridge, tap my... No, that doesn't deal an extra damage, does it? I mean, they can go Frostbridge, tap on my end step, and then untap and tap my another thing. Alright, opponent's making the... Oh! I totally forgot that was going to trigger. So I have to block Skitter or I'm dead. And then I lose my giant thing. We can go... So we gotta go Glutton here, although it is tempting to go like Agatha's Champion. I think we're just dead either way. Fighting is good and all, but we're gonna be at 1. And yeah, whatever. So opponent taps my 6/6, goes to combat, attacks with 5. So I have to block the 2/2. And I lose my other enchantment. I can't double spell. So I can play a creature, but we're just dead. So that is also game. Match 3. Once again, seeing really strong cards in my hand. Okay, Sweet Tooth, so definitely keeping this. Very disappointed with starting off 0-2. I thought this deck looked pretty good to me, but guess you can't have everything, eh? We are going to, I think, start with Evolving Wilds for planes, because I definitely don't want to draw a plane, so shuffling this out of my deck is probably better than just playing this. Certainly no rush on playing the Edgewall in, and certainly want to be getting white mana in case I draw my double white card. Of course, this Archivist is very likely just going to die, but I am going to play it. What didn't die? What didn't die? Don't kill it here either. Crap, so they play Merfolk Coralsmith. I have not seen much of this card, to be perfectly honest. Drew Archon is an amazing card. Should I play Sweet Tooth, or should I play Genealogist? And it's a tough call. Really is a tough call. I think I'm going to play Sweet Tooth, because the Sweet Tooth gives me 2 triggers for 1 card. Get the draw card trigger, so I'll get my value right away. And I don't have anything to do with this mana, so I'm going to get that tap thing in right now. But then it's also going to give me the counters trigger next turn. And that way, hopefully I get some value out of this Archivist. Because, you know, this is just a card you really have to kill. You can't just let this stay around. One's got a rare here. Makes them attack with their fairies. This is not a fairy. That's a merfolk. We're not touching that guy. So make food. 2 counters. Could go Genealogist here. So the reason to go Genealogist is that we get enchantment, draw a card off the Archivist. We put the enchantment on the Archivist. And then start attacking. Could also play the Archon. I think I would rather wait until I have the something on the field before I play the Archon. like, sorry, an enchantment on the field before I play Archon. Yeah, I'm gonna red tooth actually. The reason I've decided on this is because I'm afraid of the card Cut In specifically. My opponent draws that. They're like, I'm at 4 mana, I'm gonna cast my 4 mana removal spell. No, my guy has Ward 1, you are not casting your 4 mana removal spell. We've drawn a Brave the Wild, and this certainly looks like the sort of game where Brave the Wilds will be kicked. Give me a 3/3 with haste. I'll probably try not to use it too early, because I don't really want it to be, tapped. I really want to get value out of that haste, but that may be difficult to arrange. When I get these counters off Welcome to Sweet Tooth, I'm going to be putting them on this 1/1, and that's because 1/1 counters are really good with this Archon ability. I don't really know how I'm going to get an aura onto this human, but I suspect I will try to. And if I'm trying to do that, that might as well be where I'm putting my counters. So this card is rare, so I just need to read it, make sure I understand. They attack with a fairy, gets loot, and also put a counter on target fairy you control. Okay. So upcoming, we can do Gale Thing, do Archon. Really just depends on whether or not we think the opponent is trying to take advantage of me. Mana is really not an issue. If we draw 3, we can go 3 plus Root Rider. I think I want to wait on Brave the Wilds until I'm at 6 mana, so I can go play my 4, play Brave the Wilds, and still have the land untapped to attack with. Alright, we've drawn another land. That was really not my first choice of thing to draw. I'll put these counters on this 1/1. Also, what I might just do here is I might just attack with it. It's a 3/3. Trade it for their Merfolk, because they can pump this Merfolk twice and block this Archivist. I could play Archon right now. They could be holding up Disdainful Stroke, and their turn is so awkward. That makes me think they could also just have Spell Starter. Like, they've got this this thing that cares about tribal fairies. Spell Starter seems like actually the kind of card they might have. So that makes me want to go to combat and just attack first. Archivist is going to stay back. Going to attack with both of these. Just this. I'm going to attack with both of these. I'll leave the Archivist back. See if the opponent wants to take 3. And if they don't, if they want to actually trade, and they're going to have to tap out a Spell Stutter, and then down comes the Archon. And if they do, you know what? I think they have Spell Stutter, and I'm kind of cluttered on lands. So I'm just going to wait. Here's some more mana. Pass the turn. You want to hold 2 mana up? You can do that. The Spell Stutter is, if you don't know, counter a spell. Unless I pay 2 plus an additional 1 for each of their fairies. So it's going to be a mana leak right now. But I'm rapidly approaching the territory where I can cast a 4 and hold up 3 mana. Just need to have 7 lands, and I already have 7 lands. I just need to get them on the board. Would you like to pump your... They did not pump the fairy. Instead, they cast Johan, who's gonna... Well, Johan's a 2/5, which is, super relevant. Looks like he has flying. Looks like wings all around him, but don't think he actually does. Those are just flying elementals that aren't related to the card itself. Can, in theory, cast spells from the top of the library, but they have to hit spells, and who knows how many they have in their deck. Also, they tapped out a Spell Stutter, or Disdainful Stroke, or whatever it was they were representing last turn, so we're going to untap, slam, Archon, and hit for a lot of damage. We're also going to tap this for mana, because I'm also going to cast Brave the Wilds. And now, let's see here, I could, try to get them to trade by attacking with my... I'll have 2 3/3s. I can attack into their Coralsmith. Doesn't sound that bad. I don't really like the idea of them scrying 2, though, with the Johan in play. But I also probably can't do too much about that. I'm just going to go for it. So I can attack with these things. I can also attack with, the other guys. So, for example, if they want to double block the Genealogist, they could eat it for free. But then they're just taking a... Yeah, actually, now that I think about that, I definitely just want to attack with everything. Because they're probably going to go Johan on a 3/3, trade the Merfolk for a 3/3. So this is just 3 free damage. I really shouldn't be turning that down. Just not when I have a 4/4 flyer on the board. So we're going to trade my planes for their Merfolk. Opponent goes to 1. Oh boy. I didn't think they were going to block like that. I didn't think they wanted to take that much damage. They're going to have to remove, they're in trouble here. Opponent is still attacking. Are they trying to, they're probably trying to get me with a combat trick, right? And I shouldn't block. Nope, there's no like upheaval or I don't know, red wrath in this format that I just haven't noticed yet. But if I can't really think of anything, I'm not gonna just play around it. I'm also just not wanting to chump their 6 power attacker. Let's go to combat. Okay, and we got him. Phew, we're on the board here. 1 and 2. Match 4. Hand looks very capable. This isn't kind of the best. It's definitely not the best. But I also don't have any huge problems with it. I really want to kick this Brave the Wilds. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the Pile Wielder on 3, and then put a counter on this. And then we're going to save this return for later, because we already have 5 mana, so we don't really need it for the lands. Maybe I should just not be playing 2 of this return from the wilds. It has, whatever this is called, entry denied to return my Pile Wielder, which is annoying, but here it is again, so it's not that annoying. No spell stutter, nice. And then next turn we'll go one of these 3s plus takedown. It's called Galvanic Giant, which is pretty good when they're about to cast this thing, so we're gonna remove that right now. And also this Genealogist is a pretty good way to do that. So we can go counter on the Pile Wielder. We go takedown, 1, 2, fight your 3/3. And then the Pile Wielder gets in because we had the Aura and the Genealogist. So let's celebrate. Take 6. This Pile Wielder is certainly going to be a problem for them, because how do you block at 3/4 first strike? Certainly you can do it with a 6/5, but if they don't have that, it can be a little difficult. You can't really gang block a... Opponent's played, okay. Opponent played Asinine Antics. For each creature your opponent control, create a cursed roll attached to it. So these guys are all 1/1s. We have 2 things enter the battlefield though. They don't lose their abilities. So what we're going to do is... I wish I could sacrifice their rolls, but that is not how Bargain works. So I'm going to go Return from the Wilds. We're going to get a token and another token. Let's celebrate. Okay, so they hit us for 1. They're probably going to play a 6/5, and we're going to have to draw something to get out of this, because 3/3 is not going to save us. But if we draw lots of things we can draw, they're just great here. But that's not it. So we can go Brave the Wilds, bargain something away, get a 3/3, attack with all of these things. They can eat the 3/3, put this in front of there, take 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just not enough. Save the Brave Wilds in my hand to surprise them. Also, maybe they'll try to race me, you know? To attack with their 6/5 because they don't know I've got 3/3 up and coming. What I really want to do is I want to hit Celebration again, because that would turn that play where they have to like put this in front here. They would have to then go Gatekeeper, eat a double striker, chump block, and take damage. I want to chump block, and that's a whole different game. They played 2/3. This is a really good card, but it's really good because it draws cards. It's not because of the body. Just a 2/3. So I'll accept that for now. That wasn't a good draw. Diminisher Witch. So if they bargain this, they get to make another roll. Oh, right, but no bargain. This doesn't matter. I'm just on model lands. Maybe I shouldn't be playing Return from the Wilds in a deck that doesn't have lots of adventures to use those lands. Thought that I had enough things that care about bargain that it would be enough, but honestly it's probably just worse than Prophetic Prism, now that I actually think about it. Opponent seems to be making a strange looking attack here. So this would be attacking for 10. And that indicates they probably have specifically the card Titanic Growth for 2 reasons. One, because this is 10, not 14. So that's exactly lethal if I don't block. And 2, attacking a 3/2 into 2 power first strikers is a terrible idea, unless you have some way to give this +3 toughness. So I'm going to combine those two pieces of information together and decide to block with this guy. I guess I could like do this and make them use the growth on my 2/2. Yeah, okay, let's do it this way. Maybe I shouldn't have chumped with this 1/1, but I don't see the 1/1 really doing very much. This guy, at least, if I get the core Skyfisher guy, I can bounce him. Opponent's casting this card, which is not what I was expecting. Because, I mean, they could still have Titanic Growth, but if I make this thing that I thought was the obvious block, it blows out that card. But I guess I didn't make that block because I didn't want to get blown out by Titanic Growth because it was such a stupid attack. So did I just next level myself? Did they next level me? One of the two. Ooh, Hamlet Glutton. Don't mind if I do. Here's the Glutton. And we're going to also cast this Bargain here. And I'm going to attack with this land. Because I think they will actually double block. And I'm quite happy if this trades for their Tanglespan Lookout. Also happy if this trades for their Titanic Growth that I still think they have. I just don't want them drawing cards off this Lookout. And this is just a 3/3. Royal Treatment. Okay, so the combination of Royal Treatment and the attendants explains their attack. Don't necessarily have to have Titanic Growth. They did now just use 2 big combat tricks, and I've got a 6/6. So we may have stalled out the board for a while. On the other hand, now they have 6 power in the air, so that stalling may not last very long. So this guy's got a really powerful bargain I can't use because I just sacked my last food, making a 3/3. So I'm going to hold this into my hand. This roll again does not belong to me, so I cannot bargain in it away. I really wish I had another adventure in my deck to get back with this Edgewall in. Man, I thought this deck was good, but maybe really I just need to learn something here. This deck was not good. I'm doing badly, even though I'm drawing good cards. I guess this game I didn't really draw anything great. Like I kind of played a few good cards early and then just nothing. Does this count as getting flooded? I've drawn, I've got 16 lands in the deck, and I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, plus the Evolving Wilds in the graveyard that doesn't really count. So I've seen 11 out of 15. Yeah, that's maybe a little bit unlucky seeing 11 out of 15 lands in half the deck. That is actually quite a good card. So I can place our Armont here. So Armont can put the counter on the Pie Wielder, and I have to decide if I'm supposed to be attacking. Part of me wants me to just not attack, just play the champion fight its attendants. Like, if I attack with the Pie Wielder, what do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to trade it for their 6/5? Or do you think they're going to, like, chump it? Okay, here's my plan. I'm attacking with 2 different things. This might be a little risky, but the goal is to try to make them take a safe play, which would be this trade and then chump this 4/5. And that's exactly the thing I want them to do, because this card is scary to me, and this card is something I want to keep around. But nope, they're not buying it. Maybe I just didn't represent a trick hard enough. I thought they were going to buy it, but that didn't really work. Then I'll have to ask after this, do I want to play the champion? It's probably like hard to deny that having a 4-power trample on the board is actively good. Oh, they also take some trample damage. I totally forgot that gave trample. That probably actually explains their behavior totally. Why didn't they chump it? Because it was an 8-power trampler. You can't chump that. So I play the champion out. So now I've got 10 power on the board, so they can't just ignore this. I mean, they can. They can just attack with all. It means they might die to a removal spell on the Prankster. They don't have anything. But that also might just be their best course of action. I guess if they attack with everything... okay, this isn't... Oh, I'm making them think. That's a good sign. I'm out of cards in hand. No, I can't really... Beggars can't be choosers. If I'm making them think, I'm happy. Just don't try... Oh, okay. They're not trying to kill me. They've got Troublemaker Oof, which they can't use the ability on. I've got this Archivist, which doesn't do anything. Excellent. Okay. So I think now I'm going to attack with basically both of these. I don't want to chump attack with this, although I guess I could see it. The problem is they're just, if I attack with all three, they're going to go 3-4 on my 2-2, and then they chump this guy and probably try to trade for this guy. And then I'm left with this 4-4 versus the 3-4 fly. Actually, that's not even that bad. Is there another option for them where they eat this? Okay, another thing they could do is they could put the Prankster on the Genealogist and then trade off for Saruman, and Genealogist dies after the fact. So like they block here, double block here, and take 4. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this Genealogist around. It has been determined. I want them to block because I do not want them to have this much power in the air. That's just terrible for me. Okay, they're giving me the trade. I like both of these trades. I just want more time because I've got this Archivist. Hopefully Archivist will win me the game. And I sure have fewer lands in my deck than my opponent does. Oh, well, my opponent drew Graph Triplets. That's just not fair. That's ridiculous. This is just one of the best bomb rares in the set. Here is Genealogist. Genealogist is going to go on the Archivist. Can we win the game if we draw Archon here? Well, I didn't draw Archon. So this is 9 power of Trample. And I'm going to be at 6. I can try to trade for one of them. I can play a Royal Treatment. I might not be dead even though I can't attack. But I would have to be able to kill on the backswing, and I just don't see how I'm going to be able to do that. But because I have another draw, there might be a way that I'm not thinking of. So this only triggers once per turn, so that's why I have to pass the turn there, because I already got the enchantment. But what I'm thinking of is if they attack everything, I'm going to Royal Treatment on my Genealogist, and then I will chump one of these, eat another one, and take 5, go to 1. But we'll see. We'll see if they attack with everything, because they might be scared. They aren't scared. Okay. I think it's wise not to be scared. It also might be even better if they cast a spell in advance, but they certainly didn't do that. So a draw card, is it relevant? It's a 4-4. Could be worse. I'm going to leave them with this triplets, because there are ways to return things from the battlefield. So if I block there, I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So can't do that. Don't want to jump with this Archivist, because this Archivist is the key to winning the game. So I'm going to block like this and go to 1. Is there a way to win this game? Well, I mean, first we have to get out of this combat phase. If you've got any instant, we're going to take 1 damage and die. Okay, Graph Triplets did its thing. What's that card in your hand? That was a combat trick, and they didn't play it. And we didn't hit anything, and we're dead. But we tried our best. That was hard fought. That was hard fought. I don't feel bad about losing that game. I feel bad about going 1-3, but that was that game was very exciting, and only lost it because they top decked Graph Triplets at the right time. Otherwise, I think we would have been in good shape versus a random drop. What have I learned? I've learned that adventures are good, and 1 in your deck is not enough. And I've also learned that maybe Return for the Wilds is not as good as I thought it was. At least not if this is the entirety of your top end. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.